What a night the Astros had. They squashed the Angels. Jon Singleton came out with a vengeance, 2 home runs. The team supported Justin Verlander. We're going to talk about this on a special Friday edition of Locked On Astros.
Alvarez hits a high drive center field. Beer leans back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner. Fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can you find you at?
You can find me at HM Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros.
Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and give us a big fat thumbs up, and go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you check out your podcasts. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast, and go and become an everydayer, somebody that listens to a podcast every day. We weren't going to do a show tonight, but when Jon Singleton hits 2 home runs in his 8 years from the last time he hit a home run, you're going to have to do a show about that, because that's a pretty big deal, like Ron Burgundy would say. Justin Verlander took the mound at Minute Park for the first time since he was traded back to the Houston Astros. The Astros scored 11 runs. Abreu, we kind of have an update. Not really update, but we have something. And Altuve is climbing up the list. I believe he's at 1990. It sounds like a year. So I believe that's the number. Yes, 1990. So where were you in 1990? We'll have to answer that. Go and put that in your chat. Guys, where were you in 1990? Some of y'all were probably not even born at that time. But I know you were there, Brett. Yeah. This was an awesome game. Jon Singleton, I know the game before, everybody's like, Jon Singleton doesn't got it. He went 0 for 3 with a walk, and there's no chance this guy is going to amount to anything. But then he comes out and does this. And before you say what it's like, Jon Singleton went the longest in MLB history, 8 years, 13 days between home runs among players, then hit 2 home runs in games. They snapped the droughts. The previous longest time was Jim Brazil. I don't know how you say that name, but it's 5 years and 292 days from 1972 to 1978. And also, he is the first player in MLB history to have a multi-home run game for his first MLB home runs in 8+ years. So welcome back. And also, one more thing, Brett. Jon Singleton's gap between home runs is the longest since Jake Peavy, 9 years, 52 days. From 2006 and 2015. And he was a freaking pitcher.
You know, to bring up John Peavy and Jon Singleton doing something that only Jake Peavy's done and that far back, lets you know how rare it is for something like this. And, you know, I'm sorry, but I got to say this. The amount of people that were out there mocking him, making fun of him, making light of his addiction issues, saying he didn't belong on a major league roster. I'm sorry. All you guys ate crow tonight. Y'all all looked really bad and really foolish because you tried to kick a man when he was down in his past and he's making a comeback. And I'm sorry, but shame on y'all. That's horrible. Don't be a fan of this team if you're going to be that. That's simply, those are trash takes. And this fan base doesn't need that. After all the things we've been crapped on for the last 3 years, y'all want to come crap on a guy because he has a shady past. Let's hope that your stuff doesn't get shown and rocks don't get turned over in your past, because I sure would hate for someone to come criticize you for things you struggle with. I'm sorry. I have a real problem with the way people have treated this guy and things that I've seen online where like his kids have been made fun of online. His wife has been attacked. I mean, it is abhorrent. Like, y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Like, wash your mouths out with your soap, delete your social media accounts, and just like stop. because
not necessarily y'all guys. We're just
no,
talking. He's
I'm
just
talking
in
about
general.
no. I'm talking about, and if someone's watching the show and you were one of those people that had that takes, I'm talking to you directly. Yes,
Right.
I'm being very stern here. No matter who's on this team, you freaking cheer for them. Jon Singleton went up there and smacked the hell out of the ball. 2 upper deck home runs. Okay. Nobody's saying he's turning into the Hall of Famer. Nobody's saying that he's going to take anybody's position. But by golly, if he's on this roster, you want him contributing. And I loved, dude, when he hit that first ball, I was watching that at bat. I was like, oh my gosh, he wrecked that ball. And then the second one he got up, I mean, and he pimped those 2 home runs. It was amazing. I absolutely love the fact that he got up there and he did what nobody expected him to do. And look, he may contribute in the postseason. He may not, Eric. He may not even be on the roster in the postseason, but he's making his time count right now. And Justin Verlander hasn't received the run support. So say what you will about this man, but he's the first guy to really put a lot of run support behind Justin Verlander in a long freaking time. So good job, Mr. Singleton. Good job, Altuve, on getting one step closer to 2,000. Good job on the rest of this team. Yainer Diaz crushing the ball. Just it seemed like everybody wanted to take part. Jeremy Pena getting hits. So I love the performance tonight. Justin Verlander looked sharp. He was making Ohtani look foolish. Mike Trout wasn't even in the game. This is a perfect series and a perfect tone setter for the Astros because the Rangers are out west. They're playing the Giants, not an easy team. If they can sweep the Angels and they can complete that, they may find themselves either tied or ahead of the Texas Rangers at the end of this series. And so good job, Mr. Singleton. Those were some powerful, powerful hits. And I'm not saying he's going to get a 2 home run game every time. And he may strike out his next at bats, right? But when he's in there, you need him contributing, and he did that.
Yes, and I love this. I think Brian McTaggart tweeted this out. The wait time for Singleton homers, it was 8 years and 13 days, and then between his first and second was 26 minutes. So sometimes you just got to wait for it. And this is a redemption story. This is a story that anything can happen. And a lot of people that have had issues, like you said, should look at him as a role model. He could have given up. He could have said, yeah, woe is me. Let me just go and give up. But and just not try. But he tried. He I think he played international ball. I think he played wherever just to get back here. And so I think that this is great to see that. And those were crushed. And this is the guy that a lot of people thought that he was going to be back then. This was the guy that had he was going to strike out a lot when he first came up, but what he's showing is the plate discipline. He's walking at pretty good rate, and those balls were crushed. I know it was only 390 feet, but at the same time, it was still crushed. Like there is a no doubter right down the right field line, and the second one, like you said, was almost identical. And so I wouldn't expect that every game, but I think this is a kind of say, hey, I'm here. If you need me to play, coach, I can
put me in, coach. I can hit the ball. And it was a lefty on lefty matchup. And look, like I said, I say all that to say this: you need your guys contributing with the injuries that we've had this year. If they're in there, like Greg Kessinger, I don't need him going down on 3 pitches. I need him getting a hit. I know the Astros are up by a lot, but I need Greg Kessinger hitting. I don't want people to sleep on any of these Astros players because that's just not smart. This team has got too many veterans, has too much history. But if you want to talk about a really cool fantasy app, then I need you to check out Sleeper. Sleeper is running a promo right now that they will match the first $100 that you deposit with $100 on top of that. And you can get up to 100 times the payout. You can place in-game contests, more stat categories to place contests on home runs for Major League Baseball, triples, stolen bases. And the dynamic payouts are live. What are dynamic payouts? In short, each player projection now has a multiplier attached to it, as opposed to preset multipliers based on the number of legs in the contest. which dynamic payouts also, with dynamic payouts, it also comes with stat categories to place contest on. So you can get higher payouts than other apps with less picks. Built-in group chat functionality where you can see and copy your group's picks at the tap of a button. Entries can be made in 30 seconds or less. It's that easy. Safe and fast withdrawals, currently operational in over 30 states. So make sure that you go grab this app today. This is what you do. Use a promo code Locked On, with Sleeper will match your first $100 deposit. It's the hottest baseball game right now, and you receive 100% of your instant deposit with the promo code Locked On. Don't sleep on Sleeper. And the Astros do play the Angels again Saturday, 6:15 Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros.
All right, so it wasn't just the Jon Singleton show. We'll talk about Justin Verlander in a second. But the bottom of the order today, Diaz had 2 hits. You had Dubon with 1 hit, 2 walks, scored 3 runs. Singleton with 3 hits, drove in 5 runs, scored 3 runs. Jeremy Pena, his bat is heating up. He's had 3 hits, scored 2 runs, had a walk. And Martin Maldonado, are you kidding me? 3 hits again. He had 2 RBIs. I think it was a 2-run single that drove in Pena and Singleton, if I remember correctly. Or no, Dubon. It was something like that. But the bottom of the lineup had the majority of the hits. Altuve had 2, and McCormick had a pinch hit later. But the rest of the hits came from the bottom in order. When's the last time you could say that the majority of your offense came from the bottom of the Astros order and they won a game?
Yeah, look, I'm gonna answer Mr. Corona's question after I continue on your comment and kind of piggyback on that. If I were to tell you that Bregman, Alvarez, and Tucker all were 0-for, but the Astros scored 11 runs, you probably wouldn't believe me. I mean, Altuve with the 2 hits, then McCormick had a pinch hit late, and like Diaz, 2 hits, Dubon 1, Singleton, Pena, and Maldonado, like you mentioned, all 3 hits. All their hits came from the bottom of the lineup. That is a team win. So Mr. Corona asked us this: does Singleton count as a September call-up, or are we still getting a September call-up?
Yeah, I think we're still going to get a September call-up.
I think
you're going to expand rosters to 26 players.
Right, because the roster expands.
I mean, 28.
You can get you can get a September call-up. I would think that would be, look, if Matan is hurt and he's out for a little while, you could see who was I thinking?
There's a lot of arms that could potentially come up.
Yeah, but who was it? Who was the guy? Oh my gosh, I just drew a complete blank. I'm thinking of his Instagram name, and I can't think of his real name. With the beard, the pitcher that started.
Matt Gage.
No. Oh my God, I completely blew a gasket here. Go ahead and move on. I'll find it.
Oh, Dubin.
Dubin, yes. How did I forget? How did I forget? Oh, Sean Dubin. I hope he doesn't see this show. God, I'm embarrassed.
That's fine.
But they got like Dubin. I mean, you could even, I don't know if you would be able to do it because he's not on the 40 man, but heck, Joe Record's killing it in the back end if you need a back end guy. But yes, they will probably have another September call up if someone is worthy of that. So sorry, Mr. Corona, when you asked that, we moved past it. There's so many comments right now, we just didn't see it. But thank you for reminding us. We appreciate it. Yes. So see, look, Sammy knew who I was talking about. So Dubin, someone said DFA Abreu. No, they're not going to DFA millions and millions of dollars. Look, Abreu's not doing well. He hasn't really come around. You just wonder after this year, if he never actually comes around this year, you wonder what the future is going to be. Are they going to keep him around for 2 more years? Because I don't know, they might not. So that is yet to be seen. Do we have any updates on Matan, like how serious his injury was? Because I know he got beamed by a 90-mile-an-hour line drive to the back.
Yeah, it looked like it was the elbow, actually. It said
really? Okay.
Baker said that Matan got hit right on the elbow. No other updates other than that. Okay. So we'll have to see what happens, but that would be a big loss to the Astros. I know last year he punched a locker and was absent in the
it's playoffs, a little different than that, right?
But this guy has become one of the main pieces in Astros bullpen, and And these are the type of games that you want to bring relievers into, where it's like low pressure. You don't have to go out there being like, oh man, I've got to pitch like it's no tomorrow. But he knew the ball was going to hit him. There's nothing he could do but turn his back, and he just unfortunately just hit his elbow. So hopefully it's not that bad. Hopefully everything's going to be okay in the long run. But that was a scary little situation. So we'll have to see. I'm sure they're going to get it. Maybe some type of testing done tomorrow. But definitely a great game for Justin Verlander. I knew that once he came back to the Astros, he would be fine. He had 7 strikeouts in this game, 6 innings, allowed 3 earned runs. One of them was on a CJ Cron home run. He allowed 2 runs later in the game, but by that time, the Astros already had pretty much control of the game. So, and then you had the bullpen come in and just dominate. You had Graveman come in, and Montero has lowered his ERA to 5.69. He's a different pitcher. And Maton came in and allowed that 1 hit off his elbow. So hopefully he's okay. Then Stanek came in and got the final 3 outs. But Verlander was making his homecoming as well. And who would have thought this was supposed to be Justin Verlander's day? And everybody was talking about what's Jon Singleton going to do? Is he going to hit another home run? Is he going to go for 3? And that's all I was thinking every time. I mean, I was like, oh, Verlander's pitching. Yippee. Singleton's up. Yes. And it's just a story. It's a feel-good story. And
it is a feel-good story. You're right. But, with Justin Verlander, he got his 500th start of his career. They announced that before the game. That's pretty awesome. They put a whole graphic on El Grande. And this is like his 251st win of his career. Yes. So 251 wins and like 500 starts, 500 games started. That's pretty amazing.
Ties Bob Gibson.
Wow. So. 7 strikeouts tonight. He did give up 6 hits, but he had 0 walks.
Eric, 13 whiffs.
Yeah, his control was there, dude. He was on tonight. He was dialed in. And when the Angels scored that 1 run, I was like, oh, please don't let this be one of those games where we lose like 3-2 or 2-0, And then the second inning, like honestly, at the end of the second inning at the game, I was like, is it the 4th inning already? It went on and on and on. They put a 5 spot up there. It was a beautiful thing, dude. The place was packed. But Eric, I got to say this. I met several listeners to the show tonight. Okay. And of the listeners that I met, 3 of the 5 people that I met all started listening to us this year. All of them asked how you were doing. They're like, where's Eric? I was like, well, we don't go everywhere together, believe it or not. But they love the show. They all came up to me. Every one of them said, I'm an everydayer. So I love it. So again, if we're at a game and you see us or you follow us on social media, reach out to us. We would love to say hi. Everything I had to say tonight just makes it all the more worth it, Eric. Thank you all so much from the bottom of our heart for being an awesome audience. We do it because you guys, it makes you guys happy. And someone said, I'm always positive, always Stros. And I was like, yes, that's my dude. So thank y'all so much. It was great meeting every one of y'all. I don't want to name everybody because I'm afraid I'm going to miss one name and leave somebody out. But I tagged you on social media. We took pictures. Thank you so much for saying hi. It was great.
All right. And we have a Jose Abreu update.
Oh, we do.
Apparently, the doctors say the MRI results don't appear to be serious. And so apparently he's been dealing with this back issue for quite a while. And so remember, he went through that little hot streak, and then I think he started having the back issues. And so somebody said, well, he's 3 for 35 with no extra base hits over his last 9 games. So is it time to maybe start platooning him with somebody else? And this is what Dusty Baker said before the game. I don't know. I mean, the other guys that are playing first haven't shown that they have earned that yet either. You can't just give it to them. We're not an experiment. So, hey, man, we'll see how that goes. So, hey, man, how did Jon Singleton's game go, man?
Well, okay, so this is what's funny is, Dusty says it's not an experiment. But I would say when you randomly put Corey Julks as a leadoff hitter or Greg Kessinger as a leadoff hitter, You can't tell me that you're not experimenting with that. Now, nothing against Julks, nothing against Kessinger, but with this lineup, those aren't the guys you put in the leadoff spot. They're just not. And so, like, I get what he's saying, but there is a lot of people, and there's probably people watching us now or listening to us on Saturday that will say, but Dusty, I feel like he constructs the lineup almost like he's experimenting, right? So miss me with that, Dusty. Like, I need a consistent lineup. I need Diaz of the game just about every game. I have ridden the narrative, and I understand the trust, and I understand these things. But Yainer Diaz is capable. And look, this is what I love today. As DH, he hit the ball.
Yeah.
As a DH. Because remember, he's like 100-point difference on his batting average. And his numbers are way different versus him in the field or just coming off the bench. So if he can turn that around, he's going to buy himself more playing time. I love where this team's going. I think this team is hitting their stride at the right time. And I think everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, so apparently the last time that Jon Singleton hit a home run with the Houston Astros, it was against the Angels as well. And so it's just kind of all the just synchronicities of this. It's good to have him come back home. And Dusty Baker kind of went on to say that before we start talking about timeshares or whatever, you got to figure out who you're sharing time with and how they're doing. So we have to make a determination of how they're doing first before we do any discussions about timeshares. So I guess Dusty's going to go ahead and buy some
timeshares.
Timeshares.
Has he been walking through the concourse in center field? Those people trying to give you tickets. Listen, look, I'm just warning you guys. Do not fall for that sales pitch. They'll tell you it's 90 minutes, and then you'll be there for 6 hours, and then you'll go on a cruise, and the cruise they give you is like some crappy, like below the deck, like twin bed, and then you have to pay extras to upgrade. It's a ripoff, okay? I'm just saying, like, Dusty's like walking through, hey, you guys got timeshares? A timeshare? No, Dusty, just play the hot hand. If McCormick is hot, play him. If Myers is hot, play him. Myers should have been in center field. Dubon nearly killed himself going for that ball in center field.
And did you see the stats that Myers has against left-handers, and he wasn't even in the lineup against Detmers? But I know it all works out at the end in this game.
Do you remember last year when Dusty mentioned something about Chaz facing certain pitchers? And then I went and looked it up, and I'm like, that's actually false. Mm-hmm. So I think when the Astros try to explain too much, it looks bad on them more times than not. I don't think they intentionally mislead, and I don't think they intentionally say stuff that's not correct.
Right.
I just think someone's feeding them bad information, or they're just not doing their homework. Now, I've never managed a baseball team. I've never run a team from a GM perspective. I don't know all the details that are involved. So I can't criticize the whole process. But your messaging has got to be more succinct. For a club that is so close to the vest as they are, you would think that their PR, that what they say, their messaging would be planned, would be methodical, and would be like on point every time. And that's something that they're missing.
Yeah, I saw somebody said that Dusty Baker sometimes manages like he does the lineups like he dreamed up the lineups or something like that. So that'll be even funnier. Like, I think, I woke up and I was like, this is a perfect lineup
last night and someone hit a home run.
But you know what? We're going to have a great dream tonight about JP France going against Tyler Anderson. And JP France has been one of the Astros' best starters recently. And I would guess that you may see Tyler Anderson back in the lineup today. So tomorrow, I guess today, if you're listening on Saturday, but this should be a good game. Tyler Anderson was a great pitcher, but he's kind of taken a slight step back this year with the Angels. But Bregman has 2 home runs against him. Altuve, who's red hot right now, has 2 hits against him. And Alvarez needs to heat up a little bit, but I'm not worried long-term about him. He's going to figure things out. But any closing thoughts, Brett?
Well, today at work, I won the axe throwing championship. I won the tournament today, H-Town Wheelhouse. So y'all should be careful if you want to go into an axe throwing tournament with me. So that was pretty cool. I don't have it on me, but since one of our listeners gave me one of those King Tut crowns. That was really cool. So I love that. But look, Eric with the hot button tonight. But seriously, all joking aside, thank y'all so much. It's humbling to do a show like this. It's great to do it with the co-host like Eric. I mean, we make an amazing team. We are your most downloaded Astros podcast, your most listened to Astros podcast, your only daily Astros podcast where people from all over the world come for Astros information. Well, you guys make it great. So thank y'all for tuning in. I'm H-Town Wheelhouse. He's Eric the Man Huysman, and we are the Locked On Astros podcast. Tell him, Eric.
And go Astros and Rangers. Let's lose some ball games. Yeehaw.
You had to do that, didn't you?